You recognize that voice, Poundcake?
This isn't Jeff Beck, is it?
It's not Jeff Beck. No, Jeff Beck died, though.
The fact that he could recall the name Jeff Beck after a day, though.
Call back from yesterday.
I'm impressed.
No, I don't know who this is.
You've heard it's the same people who sing, "We're not gonna take it."
Twisted Sister?
Look at that.
Wow.
Twisted Sister, this guy gets it. Dee Snider and Twisted Sister will reunite for the first time in 8 years. These guys got to the point where they all hated each other's guts. I got this album for my 12th birthday. It's called You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. It's the second album from Twisted Sister, and I loved it. I loved it. They took the makeup off a long time ago. I wish that these guys would reunite in the full makeup, because to see these guys in their 60s, I mean, everybody's used to Kiss, but Kiss has maintained a look. They all have the jet black dyed wigs, and they've looked the same for 50 years. But Twisted Sister, these guys were doing their thing from like the friggin' Bowery. They were a Jersey band trying to break into rock clubs in New York in full drag queen, not drag queen. They didn't look that way, but they had clownier makeup than Kiss did.
It was cross-dressing-esque.
It was. Yeah, it was very bright. Yeah. They are a New Jersey band from a town I've never heard of before called Ho-Ho-Kus. Ho-Ho-Kus? You ever heard of Ho-Ho-Kus, New Jersey? H-O-K-U-S. No. I know we have bureau chiefs in Jersey. Maybe somebody get me hip to that. Ho-Ho-Kus, New Jersey. Hometown of Twisted Sister.
Sounds like Snoop Dogg asking for a ho-ho.
Ho-Ho-Kus? I don't know. Ho-Ho.
Let me go on them ho-ho-cuz.
Ho-Ho-Kus.
It's damn near right up near just the New York borderline.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too far.
They will play January 26th at the Canyon Club in California, out there in L.A. They're being inducted into the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame by Steve Vai and Mark Portnoy, who was the drummer for Dream Theater a long time ago and has drummed for Twisted Sister from time to time. Their original drummer died some years ago. A.J. Pero was the guy who died. And so the various guys in Twisted Sister have gone on to various levels of success in the music biz, but Dee Snider has always been first and foremost in that band, did a Christmas album. We used to air a show called House of Hair here on WMMS that Dee Snider hosted. You'll hear Stansbury play him sometimes on
Big Hair Wednesday.
Big Hair Wednesday. That's right.
The hair, it's so big.
It's so big. But I'm excited about a Twisted Sister reunion. I assume it'll be filmed. I don't know what they'll do with it. But I'm very excited about that.
Wow, their makeup, like their outfits, I see why they made it. It's fantastic.
It was fully DIY. It was fishnets and weird,
But just like,
but they were also like kicking dudes' asses who gave them a hard time. So they were really like this. It was a wild vibe for a band to be pulling at that time. Because, again, people were used to Kiss. I think Kiss and Twisted Sister might have... Twisted Sister probably came out a little bit later than Kiss, but not much longer.
They came out later, but then they kind of took what Kiss did and incorporated the glam thing that had gone on in the 70s.
New York Dolls.
And made their own thing, yeah.
Yep. But, man, we loved, like, the Twisted Sister videos back in the day, and We're Not Gonna Take It. Oh, this is the best. But again, over the years, they started to hate each other's guts and went their various ways. They did a 40 and F It tour in 2016, but they will reunite for this thing. They were always referred to as the Iron Men of rock and roll because they didn't care what anybody said. They got out there, did what they had to do, and try to kick ass. I still have a Twisted Sister t-shirt. It still fits me, barely. Somebody tweeted me. God, what was that tweet last night? Don't know why, but I have Alan Cox Show's skit of Paul Stanley driving an RTA bus stuck in my head. Yeah, because we were talking about Kiss on Sonic Temple. Kiss is the Saturday. It's 4 nights now at Sonic Temple. It's Tickets are on sale, I think, tomorrow. Stansbury's got him this week, or Rover's got him. We're giving them away. If you're trying to get to Sonic Temple, it's like Godsmack and Tool and Kiss and Rob Zombie and Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
The biggest question is who's going to be drumming for Foo Fighters. Rob and I were talking about this morning. Who's going to be behind the drums for Foo Fighters? And there are only a few scenarios that we could come up with. It's either going to be Dave himself getting back behind the drums, but that seems unlikely to me because I think he's come to like it out front. It's going to be somebody we don't know, like a drum tech or something, but that seems, with them going, nobody can replace Taylor, so here's this guy who's been
What about his son?
our drum. And the third one was the son,
Yeah.
who's 16 years old, and I'm coming around to that maybe that's the most likely. Because I thought maybe they get a studio drummer that knows what he's doing, like Josh Freese or somebody like that, to get out there with him. But I think he's going out with Offspring, and so maybe that's what Phil Collins did when he had so much nerve damage he couldn't play the drums anymore. He put his kid behind the kit. Damn Nepo babies
Ugh.
out there on tour.
Here's Paul Stanley driving an RTA bus.
Yes. Okay, that's cool. Next stop, Tower City. They got a lot of nice shops in there. You can even get you some Chinese food at the food court. I'm Paul Stanley driving a bus.
That was Paul Stanley driving an RTA bus.
I heard it's going to be Max Weinberg.
I would love that. Again, Taylor Hawkins was perfect for Foo Fighters. It's not a lot of heavy lifting. It's all about stamina and speed for a band like that. But, for what they do musically, Foo Fighters already has one too many guitarists. They have Shiflett, they have Pat Smear, and they have Dave Grohl. That band does not need three guitarists. So I guess it depends on how Dave Grohl feels about still being in front. If he would take it upon himself to do like the Phil Collins, Don Henley, Kelly Keagy from Night Ranger. They're all drummers who are the singers.
John Stamos.
John Stamos of the Beach Boys.
He's a singing drummer.
Yeah. I don't know that he would do that. That doesn't seem like the kind of band and songs that you could have the drummer singing. But I don't know. But that's going to be the question in everybody's mind. And their first foray back out in the festivals is Boston Calling. That'll be their first live show since Taylor Hawkins died.
And when is that?
That's February, maybe?
Okay,
March?
so we'll find out sooner
We
than later.
will know before. Word will get around before Sonic Temple. Well, I guess Boston Calling is the same weekend as Sonic Temple.
Okay.
So they'll do
we'll know in
Boston
May,
one night, and then they'll do... Tool and all those bands. Somebody's giving them away this week. Either Rover or Stansbury's doing it this week, because in a couple weeks, I know I'm giving them away. I'll have Pussifer tickets next week for you because they're doing Sonic Temple too. They're just doing like a little side thing. That's the fun part of when a big festival comes through is you'll have all these bands going off and breaking off and doing their own things. So even if you don't want to go for a weekend, but there's one or two bands you really dig, you can go see them in a club or something. Pussifer's going to play MGM Northfield Park the day after Sonic Temple ends, which is May 29th. But like when we would go to Lollapalooza, that week you'd have all the bands spinning off and doing like tiny club shows, which was the best. It's like when Foo Fighters got inducted in the Rock Hall and they came through and did House of Blues. That was so fun. If you listen to us on the iHeartRadio app, you can always leave us messages there anytime you like.
I can't believe that Bill especially didn't chime in on Poundcake, so thinking that the two guys got the text and they're like, oh, ghosting him and we're not going to respond, and he probably started a giant fight. One got a text, the other one questioned who's texting you, sees who it is. A few minutes later, the other one gets a text. Imagine that fight.
I hadn't thought about that.
The boys that Ghosted pound cake?
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, that he was angry because he had been ghosted by these two dudes that he had on separate occasions
Pound cake, would that make
fooled
you
around
happy?
with, and then they were together. Maybe, is there any credence to that guy's theory?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the call because I was answering a call.
I'll play it for you again, okay?
Sorry.
Whoop, not that one. Hold on. I moved on.
I can't believe that Bill especially didn't chime in on Poundcake, so thinking that the two guys got the text and they're like, oh, ghosting him and we're not going to respond, and he probably started a giant fight. One got a text, the other one questioned who's texting you, sees who it is. A few minutes later, the other one gets a text. Imagine that fight.
What do you think about that?
It's possible. But again,
Imagine them fighting over you. Bill asked, would that make you happy?
no, but he's saying I started a fight between the two of them. I didn't make it seem, I don't think he meant fighting over me. Like,
No, I understand, but you would still be the catalyst for that.
no, I don't want to start a fight. Honestly, I just want to know that I'm not a throwaway person. Like, I just wanted them to know that I know it's okay to be in a relationship. I know they don't need my validation, but I need theirs. And I just wanted, I text you. I saw that you had the red receipts on. It said seen. So I don't know. I just felt two ways about that. So yeah, I could have started a fight. You're absolutely correct. But I don't know that because I got a response from no one. And I was waiting for yesterday after I mentioned it because I was like, uh-oh, ears might perk up. Still nothing.
Yeah, I don't care. So
Yeah,
why do you?
I know.
So why do you?
Because I have a big heart, Alan.
Oh, my God.
I have
Called
a
big
in
heart.
I have a big
enlarged
heart.
heart.
Are you the Grinch? Yeah, enlarged. You're going to get into better shape, and then that heart's going to shrink a little bit.
I told you yesterday, if they can't handle me at my Jonah Hill, they don't deserve me at my Jonah Hill.
Well, you're right about that. That is true. But clearly you haven't forgotten about it.
Because it hurts. It really
I
hurts.
guess I don't understand why.
I don't know why either.
Huh.
I just felt like our relationship, I know it was friends with benefits, but it's also friends comes first.
No.
No,
Friends
the benefits it comes
it's
first
friends with
it comes
benefits.
first in the phrase. But the benefits are in much larger font.
But the only reason why you have the benefits is because I trust you as a friend. I'm trusting you with my body. I'm trusting you not to give me any STDs. I'm trusting you because we have a friendly relationship. And I felt like the friendly relationship went left when you left me on red. I'm sorry. I just felt a ways. It didn't have to be that way. I'm not looking to pick fights, and you don't owe me an explanation.
Being left on red bothers you that much?
For someone that I was having not even like a semi sexual encounter with, but like occasionally. It was occasional sex.
Sexual threesome.
It was just occasional. And it didn't if it was no big deal, why could you not send me a text? We'd be like, "Hey, I got a boyfriend." Or send me a link to your Facebook page where it says in relationship.
Yeah, but they're not under any obligation to do that. How long ago was it?
How long ago was the last
You and these
hookup?
dudes.
This was over Christmas break.
You hooked up with them over Christmas break.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. The
right,
last
that,
encounter.
yeah.
So the last one I hooked up with was like maybe a year ago.
Right.
A year
ago. You're acting like it was
Over a
2 weeks
year?
ago.
Well, no, that
and
was
you
one of
found
them.
out, huh?
That was one of them. The other one I hooked up with, this was before Colorado, before I went.
Right, but
before my
those are
birthday.
That
both.
was still September.
That's both plenty of time for everyone to move
October,
on.
November, December. This is 3.5 months later.
This is this is what I mean when I say that you have too much free time. Because the only reason that you're sitting around obsessing over this is you're not focusing on anything else. You should have no time to give two wet craps about these dudes. And if they saw your text, and who cares?
You right.
Read that Kushner book.
You're right.
Did you read any more of it?
I did not read any more last night.
He got 7 pages in, and he was like, done.
Nope.
I'm out.
No, I just was really tired last night. I went to bed early,
How early?
like 10.
Dude, I'm tired as hell.
I don't know why. I maybe it's the mood or my bed was just extra comfortable. But after I got done, it was like
My bed, I sleep in this every night, but tonight it's just extra
sometime
comfortable.
You get that after it's all the sheets are washed and you shower yourself and it's like your bed is cool but not too cool. It's warm but not too warm. You slide in just so.
It's like a nice bowl of porridge.
Ew.
Yeah.
And I had done all my grocery shopping for the day and I had deboned all my chickens and stuff.
Yeah.
And I ate. I'm like, I'm done.
Deboned all my chickens.
I didn't even my laptop's right next to my bed. I didn't even pull over my laptop and toss off. I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. I don't even want to watch anything. I'm going to bed.
Well, you were tired.
I know.
You're like, I'm not even booting up the porn. I'm not even going to entice myself. Not today, Satan.
I paid for it this morning, though. I had a raging one. That's what happens. I have to do it. I have to. It builds up. It's like when you don't get out the breast milk and it's all sore.
How do you know that, by the way?
Because I have a lot
Because
of.
your mom's a nurse and you have.
No, I have a
female
lot
friends,
of girlfriends who are moms.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, anytime they take a second to regale you with tales of blocked milk ducts, that's got to be a big day for you.
Who do you think helps them?
Squeeze it out? I don't know. The baby?
I want to try.
The person who's nursing,
Wow.
I think would help them relieve the pressure.
Well,
I didn't know you were engaging in any kind of midwifery.
I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Woody.
Midwifery.
Midwifery. How do you like that?
Wow. That's pretty good, brother. But, hey, you guys were just talking about the situation with the passing of Taylor Hawkins and, who they're going to replace for the Foo Fighters, right?
Yes.
And I'm just wondering what was the biggest stink of a replacement in a rock band throughout history. What was the most because when Brian Johnson replaced after Bon Scott died, nobody could replace Bon Scott, right? But somehow, some way they found Brian Johnson and went on to be super successful.
Yeah, I think Kenny Jones replacing Keith Moon was a pretty big deal in the Who.
Yeah. Because Keith Moon, off topic, Keith Moon did not play with a hi-hat, which I find very strange for drummers, right?
Well, but he also did like that. He played with his hands kind of high, and Keith Moon had a very specific way of playing, and he was regarded as much for his offstage stuff as on stage. Keith Moon was, again, I'm not like a massive Who fan, but I think when Keith Moon died and Kenny Jones stepped in to replace him, I think that was a big deal.
Yeah, because it was like supposedly no one could replace that lunatic, and just his way of playing was just so beyond the structure of like a Ginger Baker kind of situation. The guy was literally insane, but how and why are you playing these drums this way?
Right.
I'm just saying that because you're a drummer, you know what I mean? You kind of know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you mean.
But well, back to so you think who's going to replace Taylor Hawkins? Any idea? Your best guess?
I think his kid.
Yeah.
I mean, people are making the argument that he's too young because I think he's only 16 years old. But Eddie Van Halen took Wolfgang out when he was 15. He told Michael Anthony to hit the bricks. I want to take my kid out. So I mean,
you want to talk about a slap in the face? What But blood's thicker than water. I got a little bit of inside story about that, but I'm not going to talk about it on the radio.
About blood and water?
Kick in the balls.
I think that if your blood is as thin as water, you should probably consult a physician, Woody.
Well, I've got a little alcohol in it, so.
A little alcohol in it, right.
Bad.
It's a slow weekend. All right, thank you, Woody. I've got to move on. I want to get ready for Joe List. Let me take a break here. Comedian Joe List is doing the Weekend at Hilarities right around the corner, so we'll catch up with him in a minute. I'll have those Bush tickets for you. They're doing February 10th, Gavin Rossdale and Company.